What is still missing is that some Inkscape magic we add. What I want to do is a kind of effect that the sword is cutting the air, a wind effect, a wind blow or something like that. You see it in a lot of games. So I just made a circle. With Ctrl D I duplicated it. I recolor it so I see what I am doing. I select both of them and I go to Path and Difference. So now I have a moon. I cut half of it. Again, I did the same. I just draw a square, selected both, and I went to Path Difference, but I just push Ctrl minus. And now this end I will make into a circle. Or a nice shape. Alright. And this is what I want to do when the sword is hitting. Show you here in Inkscape. I love it that you can play with stuff like this in Inkscape. When the sword is hitting, something like this appears. I make it white and I call it, I'm gonna call it wind just to name it easy. And I export it. Now I go back to Dragon Bones, import it and add it to the animation. I go to the armature part and here is my library. I add this asset and I look for the wind and here it is, and I add it to my frame. I take care from now on that it's not included in all of my animations, because if I go to the walk it's still there. So I make it invisible in here. But if I go to the idle, it's still here. I make it invisible here. But if I go to the slash, it's still here. So what I do, I add a bone to it, just one click in the armature. So I can edit it in the animation part. Will be the same in the first frame and in the last as well. It will be here pretty much. This is where it will be very visible that the sword is hitting and it's making this, yeah? Now if I select this, from here to here, I want it to disappear. So I'm gonna put it the same. How will it disappear? It will simply disappear because I set the image alpha to 0. So I select it and I set the image alpha to 0. Here in the first keyframe, it's again 0. I just copy this frame and it's 0. Here is still 0, still 0. But when there is the hit, now it's everywhere 0. Where there is the hit, I want it to be visible. So let's see how it looks. Alright. It's here. And now again it's the same place. Here the alpha is 100, here it is 0. So one frame it has to be. This frame I delete, so it disappears. This here I add the frame, and this frame I also delete, so it appears. Let's see how it looks. what happens if I deselect everything, and it has a nice whoosh. What I also can do that in the last frame, it is also going forward towards the enemy. This is what I also do in a lot of games. So I select the bone and it goes forward. Let's see how it looks now. You see, like it's shooting some little thing. Here I can even put it closer because it's not gonna be visible on the face, it's gonna be visible while it's shooting forward. Nice. So this is my attack, and I hope you made yours too. It's very easy to add elements to an animation. You just have to put it there, make them visible or invisible. You can turn them off, as you saw. You can turn them off here in the slot, and you can use it to your advantage. This can be to create bullets, this can be to create different lightning effects, anything really. Little moving parts, anything. I won't do bullets with it though, because bullets has to hit something, so it's not a cosmetic. Here it's mostly a cosmetic thing. It just looks nice. And I will calculate the hit by where the sword is hitting the enemy. So I wouldn't make a bullet like this in this Dragon Ball animation software. I would draw the bullet, give it a different object, and use it and calculate it as a different object in my game engine, not here.